The large silver ship moved slowly through the darkness of space. Inside the ship, Dr. Vexhai looked at the screens showing the third planet from the yellow star. His 6 eyes focused on the blue and green world below. For many years, he had been watching the creatures that lived on this planet. Dr. Vexhai was the best animal expert in the Galactic Research Group. He had studied life forms on hundreds of worlds, but this planet was different. The creatures here were more interesting than any he had seen before. The creatures walked on 2 legs. They had no fur, only thin skin. They were weak compared to most animals in the galaxy. But they did things that made Dr. Vexhai curious. They used tools. They built things. They worked together in large groups. On the planet below, Captain Jake Morrison flew his small ship through the clouds. He was checking the air around Earth, looking for any problems. Jake had been a pilot for 10 years. He loved flying more than anything else. Jake did not know that invisible machines were watching him. These machines belonged to the aliens in the big ship above. They recorded everything Jake did. They watched how he moved the controls. They saw how he solved problems when his ship had trouble. The aliens wrote notes about Jake. They called him Subject 7 Alpha 1. They thought he was very smart for an animal. They wrote that he could use tools better than most creatures they had seen. But they still believed he was just a clever animal. Dr. Vexhai watched the recordings of Jake flying. He was amazed by what he saw. The creature could control the flying machine with great skill. It could react quickly to danger. It seemed to understand how the machine worked, but Dr. Vexhai had studied many animals across the galaxy. He knew that some animals were very smart. Some could use simple tools. Some could solve problems. He believed humans were just another type of smart animal. Far away from Jake, Dr. Lisa Turner worked in her laboratory. She was trying to solve a math problem that would help people travel to other stars. Lisa had been working on this problem for 3 years. She used computers and wrote long equations on whiteboards. The alien watchers saw Lisa working. They recorded her every move. They saw her writing symbols on the whiteboards. They saw her using the computers. But they did not understand what she was really doing. The aliens thought Lisa was marking her territory. Many animals across the galaxy marked their territory with symbols. The aliens believed the symbols on Lisa's whiteboard were just territory markers. They thought the computers were tools for making better territory markers. The aliens called Lisa Subject 7 Alpha 2. They wrote that she was very good at making complex territory markers. They noted that she could use tools to make these markers more detailed than any animal they had seen before. Dr. Vexhai was excited by what he saw. He told his team to set up more watching stations around the planet. He wanted to study these creatures more closely. He believed they might be the smartest animals in the galaxy. The alien team placed invisible watching machines in cities around Earth. They watched people working, playing, and living their lives. They saw people building houses and roads. They saw people using cars and computers. They saw people talking and laughing together. But the aliens did not understand what they were really seeing. They thought the buildings were just big nests. They thought the cars were tools for moving around their territory. They thought the computers were devices for storing territory information. The aliens were amazed by how well humans worked together. They saw thousands of humans working in the same area without fighting. They saw humans sharing tools and food. They saw humans helping each other solve problems. Dr. Vexhai wrote in his report that humans had the most complex social behavior of any animal species. He noted that they could organize themselves into groups of millions without chaos. He believed this was because they had developed the best communication system of any non-thinking species. The aliens watched human faces very carefully. They saw humans smile, frown, and make many different expressions. They saw humans move their hands and bodies in different ways when they talked. The aliens thought these were all forms of animal communication. The aliens wrote that humans had at least 50 different threat displays. They noted that humans could show anger, fear, and dominance through facial expressions. They believed hand movements were ways of showing territory boundaries. Dr. Vex High was particularly interested in human emotions. He had never seen animals with such complex emotional displays. He watched recordings of humans laughing, crying, and showing anger. He believed these were advanced survival behaviors. The aliens thought human laughter was a way of showing dominance over weaker members of the group. They believed human tears were a way of asking for help from stronger group members. They thought human anger was a warning to other humans to stay away from their territory. The alien team studied human technology with great interest. They saw humans using machines to fly, to communicate over long distances, and to solve complex problems. But they believed this was just very advanced tool use. Dr. Vex High compared humans to other tool-using animals across the galaxy. He noted that humans could use tools to make other tools. He saw that humans could use tools to change their environment in major ways. But he still believed this was just animal behavior. The aliens were amazed by human cities. They saw millions of humans living close together in tall buildings. They saw complex systems for moving water, electricity, and information throughout the cities. They thought these were the most advanced animal colonies in the galaxy. The aliens believed human cities were like the colonies of social insects, but much more complex. They thought humans built cities by instinct, just like bees build hives. They did not understand that humans planned and designed their cities. Dr. Vex High decided that humans were ready for closer study. He believed that studying these creatures could help scientists understand how intelligence developed in animals. He thought humans might be the link between simple animals and truly thinking beings. The alien team prepared to take some humans for study. They planned to treat the humans well and give them a good environment. They wanted to study human behavior more closely. They hoped to learn the secrets of human intelligence. Dr. Vex High chose the locations for capturing humans carefully. He wanted to take humans from different areas of the planet. He believed that humans from different places might have different behaviors. He wanted to study these differences. The aliens did not know that they were about to make the biggest mistake in the history of the galaxy. They thought they were capturing smart animals for study. They did not know they were about to kidnap members of an intelligent species. They did not know that humans could think, feel, and communicate just like they could. The stage was set for a discovery that would change everything the galaxy knew about intelligence and life. Lieutenant Commander Alex Carter checked his instruments one more time. His small scout ship moved quietly through space near Jupiter's moons. Alex was on a training mission, testing new equipment for the Earth Defense Force. He had done this kind of mission many times before. Alex loved being alone in space. He could think clearly out here. He could focus on his flying without distractions. Today felt like any other day. He had no idea that alien eyes were watching him from far away. The Cytherian research ship had been following Alex for 2 hours. The ship was invisible to human sensors. Dr. Zephron, the head researcher, watched Alex's every move. He was impressed by how smoothly the human controlled his ship. Dr. Zephron gave the order to his team. A blue beam of light shot out from the alien ship. The beam grabbed Alex's ship and pulled it toward the larger vessel. Alex felt his ship shake and spin. His controls stopped working. He could not understand what was happening. Alex's ship was pulled into a large bay inside the alien vessel. The bay sealed shut behind him. Alex sat in his ship, confused and scared. He tried to call for help on his radio, but no signals could get through the alien ship's walls. tall, strange beings approached. Alex's ship. They had gray skin and long arms. Their faces were different from any animal Alex had ever seen. Alex realized that these were aliens. Real aliens had captured him. The aliens opened Alex's ship carefully. They moved slowly, like people trying not to scare a wild animal. Alex stepped out of his ship. He tried to talk to the aliens, but they just looked at him with curious expressions. They did not seem to understand that he was trying to communicate. The aliens led Alex through their ship. Alex saw amazing technology everywhere. The walls glowed with soft light. Machines hummed quietly. The aliens seemed very advanced, but they treated Alex like he was a valuable pet, not an intelligent being. The aliens brought Alex to a large room. The room looked like a zoo habitat. There were rocks, plants, and a small stream of water. The ceiling showed a view of space. That looked real. Alex realized the aliens had built this place for him to live in. Dr. Zephyrin watched Alex explore the habitat. He was proud of what his team had built. They had studied humans for months to create the perfect environment. They had included everything they thought a human would need to be happy and healthy. The aliens had put tools and objects around the habitat. They wanted to see how Alex would use them. There were pieces of metal, rope, and other materials. The aliens thought these would be good toys for a smart animal. Alex understood what was happening. The aliens thought he was some kind of animal. They had built him a cage, even if it was a very nice cage. Alex felt angry and frustrated. He needed to find a way to show them that he was intelligent. 3 days later, the aliens captured Dr. Kate Williams. Kate was exploring the deep ocean in a research submarine when the alien beam grabbed her vessel. Like Alex, she was pulled into the alien ship and brought to a habitat next to his. Kate was a marine biologist. She had studied animal behavior for many years. When she saw her new environment, she quickly understood what the aliens were doing. They were treating her like a research subject. They thought she was an animal. Alex was happy to see another human. He tried to talk to Kate through the wall between their habitats. The aliens watched this interaction with great interest. They thought the humans were showing mating behaviors. The aliens had built Kate's habitat to look like an underwater environment. There were rocks that looked like coral reefs. There were plants that moved like seaweed. The aliens had tried to copy Kate's natural environment, but they had made it based on where they found her, not where humans actually lived. Kate realized that the aliens were trying to take care of them. They brought food and water every day. They kept the habitats clean. They gave the humans new objects to play with. But they treated Kate and Alex like very smart pets. Dr. Zephyrin was excited by having 2 humans to study. He watched how they interacted with each other. He saw how they shared food and tools. He noted that they seemed to communicate with sounds and gestures. But he believed this was just advanced animal behavior. The aliens tested Alex and Kate in many ways. They gave them puzzles to solve. They watched how the humans used tools. They recorded everything the humans did. The aliens were amazed by how smart the humans were, but they still thought they were just clever animals. Alex tried many ways to communicate with the aliens. He drew pictures in the sand. He made patterns with the objects in his habitat. He tried to copy the sounds the aliens made. But the aliens thought these were just signs of stress or play behavior. Kate used her knowledge of animal behavior to study the aliens. She watched how they moved and communicated. She began to understand their daily routines. Kate realized that the aliens were scientists, just like her. They were trying to learn about humans through observation. The aliens brought new objects to the habitats every few days. They wanted to see how Alex and Kate would react to new things. They gave them pieces of technology, art supplies, and different types of food. The aliens wrote down everything the humans did with these objects. Alex and Kate began working together. They shared ideas about how to escape or communicate with their captors. They made plans using gestures and quiet words. The aliens watching them thought this was complex social bonding behavior. Kate noticed that the aliens responded differently to certain human actions. When she and Alex did something the aliens had never seen before, they would gather around the viewing screens and talk excitedly. Kate realized that the aliens were learning from watching them. The aliens believed they were providing good care for their human subjects. They made sure Alex and Kate had everything they needed to be healthy. They gave them space to exercise and explore. They tried to keep the humans from being bored or stressed. Dr. Zephron wrote detailed reports about human behavior. He described how humans used tools in ways he had never seen before. He noted that humans could solve problems by working together. He believed humans might be the most intelligent animals in the galaxy, but Dr. Zephron still thought of Alex and Kate as animals. He believed their complex behaviors were just the result of very advanced instincts. He did not understand that humans could think abstract thoughts, make plans for the future, and create new ideas. The aliens were particularly interested in human emotions. They watched Alex and Kate laugh, cry, and show anger. They saw the humans comfort each other when they were sad. The aliens thought these were very advanced social behaviors for animals. Alex and Kate began to develop a routine in their habitats. They exercised together every morning. They shared meals. They worked on projects using the materials the aliens provided. The aliens thought this showed that humans were very social animals. The humans were frustrated by their situation, but they were also fascinated by the aliens. Alex and Kate had always wondered if life existed elsewhere in the universe. Now they knew for certain that it did. But they wished the first contact had happened differently. Kate started to notice patterns in the alien language. She heard the aliens use certain sounds when they were excited or confused. She began to understand that the aliens had a complex communication system. Kate realized that if she could learn their language, she might be able to communicate with them. The aliens continued to study Alex and Kate for weeks. They learned about human sleep patterns, eating habits, and social behaviors. They gathered more information about humans than any other species they had studied. But they still did not understand what they were really looking at. Dr. Zephron began planning to capture more humans. He wanted to study how humans from different parts of Earth behave differently. He believed that humans from different environments might have developed different survival strategies. The aliens were about to make their biggest mistake yet. They thought they were building a collection of the galaxy's smartest animals. They did not know they were kidnapping members of an intelligent species that could think, feel, and communicate just like them. Lieutenant Ben Rodriguez was fixing a communication satellite when his world changed forever. He was working alone in space, focused on repairing the damaged equipment. Ben had trained for years to become a communications expert. He could speak 4 languages and understood how radio signals worked. The alien beam hit Ben's ship without warning. Just like Alex and Kate before him, Ben was pulled into the Catherian research vessel. But Ben was different from the other humans. He had studied how different species might communicate. He had always wondered about talking to aliens. When Ben saw the aliens, he did not panic. Instead, he watched them carefully. He listened to the sounds they made. He noticed how they moved, their bodies when they talked to each other. Ben realized that these aliens had a complex language. Just like humans did, the aliens brought Ben to a habitat next to Kate's. Ben could see Alex and Kate in their own spaces. He was happy to see other humans, but he was also excited by what he was seeing. These aliens were clearly intelligent. They had built amazing technology. They were studying humans like scientists. Dr. Helen Clark was the fourth human to be captured. She was working on Mars, studying rocks and soil samples. Helen was a physicist who understood how the universe worked. She had studied stars, planets, and the forces that held everything together. When Helen woke up in her habitat, she immediately understood what had happened. She recognized the signs of advanced technology everywhere. The artificial gravity, the perfect air, the realistic sky display. All of these things required incredible scientific knowledge. Helen was not afraid. She was fascinated. These aliens had technology that was far ahead of anything humans had developed. But Helen also realized something important. The aliens had made a mistake. They thought humans were animals. Ben and Helen began working together immediately. Ben had been studying the alien language for days. He had noticed that the aliens used different sounds for different ideas. He had started to understand some basic concepts in their language. Helen used her scientific knowledge to understand the alien technology. She studied the walls of their habitats. She examined the tools the aliens had given them. Helen realized that the aliens were trying to provide good care for what they thought were intelligent animals. The four humans could communicate with each other through gestures and quiet words. They developed a plan to prove their intelligence to the aliens. They knew they needed to do something that no animal could do. They needed to show the aliens that humans could think abstract thoughts. Ben worked on decoding more of the alien language. He listened carefully to the aliens when they talked to each other. He noticed that they used certain sounds when they were surprised or excited. He began to understand how their grammar worked. Helen started creating mathematical demonstrations. She used the objects in her habitat to build geometric shapes. She showed how different mathematical relationships worked. Helen knew that only intelligent beings could understand abstract mathematics. Alex and Kate helped by creating complex tools and solving difficult problems. They worked together to build things that required planning and cooperation. They wanted to show the aliens that humans could work together to achieve goals. The aliens watched everything the humans did with growing confusion. Dr. Zephron had studied animals across the galaxy, but he had never seen anything like this. The humans were doing things that seemed impossible for non-intelligent creatures. Ben made his first breakthrough when he figured out how the aliens counted. He heard them use specific sounds for different numbers. Ben realized that the alien number system was based on 8 instead of 10. This was a crucial discovery. Using his knowledge of alien numbers, Ben began creating mathematical proofs. He arranged objects in his habitat to show basic mathematical relationships. He demonstrated addition, subtraction, and multiplication. Using the alien counting system, Helen supported Ben's work by creating more complex mathematical demonstrations. She built models that showed how gravity worked. She used simple materials to demonstrate the principles of physics. Helen wanted to show that humans understood the same natural laws that governed the entire universe. The aliens were amazed by what they saw. Dr. Zephron called emergency meetings with his research team. They had never seen animals that could understand mathematics. They had never seen creatures that could demonstrate abstract scientific concepts. Dr. Vex arrived on the research ship to see the humans for himself. He was the expert who had classified humans as intelligent animals. When he saw what Ben and Helen were doing, he began to question everything he thought he knew about intelligence. Kate used her knowledge of animal behavior to study the aliens more carefully. She realized that the aliens were becoming confused and excited by human behavior. Kate understood that the aliens were scientists who were genuinely trying to learn about humans. The humans began creating more complex demonstrations. They worked together to build machines using the materials in their habitats. They showed how different scientific principles could be combined to create new technologies. Ben finally managed to create a simple message in the alien language. He used mathematical concepts to bridge the gap between human and alien understanding. Ben arranged symbols and objects to show that humans understood the same mathematical truths that the aliens did. The moment of recognition came when Ben successfully demonstrated the Pythagorean theorem using alien mathematical concepts. He built a right triangle and showed how the relationship between the sides worked. Then he wrote the equation using symbols that the aliens could understand. Dr. Zephron stared at the demonstration in shock. Only intelligent beings could understand abstract mathematical relationships. Only thinking creatures could communicate mathematical concepts to other species. The implications hit him like a physical blow. The aliens gathered around the viewing screens in growing excitement and panic. They realized that they had been studying members of an intelligent species. They had been treating thinking beings like animals. They had committed a terrible mistake. Helen created a demonstration that showed she understood atomic theory. She used simple objects to show how atoms were structured. She demonstrated how different elements behaved. This level of understanding was impossible for any non-intelligent creature. Alex and Kate supported the scientific demonstrations by showing complex social cooperation. They worked together to solve problems that required abstract planning. They demonstrated that humans could share knowledge and work toward common goals. Ben attempted his first direct communication with the aliens. He used the mathematical concepts. He had learned to create simple messages. He showed that humans could count, add, and understand geometric relationships. He proved that humans had language and abstract thought. The aliens began to understand the magnitude of their error. They had been observing an intelligent species for years without recognizing what they were seeing. They had captured members of a thinking species and treated them like laboratory animals. Dr. Vexhai called for emergency protocols. According to galactic law, intelligent species had rights that must be respected. The aliens had unknowingly violated these laws by capturing and studying humans without permission. The research team faced a crisis. They had discovered that the galaxy contained another intelligent species. But they had discovered this in the worst possible way. They had treated the humans like animals and kept them in captivity. Ben worked frantically to establish better communication. He wanted to show the aliens that humans were not angry, just confused. He tried to demonstrate that humans understood the aliens had made an honest mistake. Helen created demonstrations that showed human knowledge of astronomy and physics. She showed that humans understood how stars worked and how planets moved. She proved that humans had developed science and technology independently. The aliens realized that they were looking at representatives of a species that had developed intelligence along a completely different path. Humans had no telepathic abilities, but they had developed complex spoken and written languages. They had created technology without any outside help. Dr. Zephron made the most important decision of his career. He ordered his team to begin immediate contact protocols. They needed to establish proper communication with the humans. They needed to apologize for their mistake and try to make things right. The revelation changed everything. The aliens had discovered that intelligence could take forms they had never imagined. The humans had surprised them by developing complex thought and communication in ways that were completely different from other galactic species. The four humans had succeeded in proving their intelligence, but they had also started something much bigger. They had begun the first contact between humanity and the galactic community. The future of both species would never be the same. The moment that changed galactic history began with a simple mathematical equation. Ben Rodriguez had spent weeks learning the alien language. He had figured out their number system, their basic grammar, and how they expressed ideas. Now he was ready to make real contact. Ben carefully arranged objects in his habitat to create a message. He used the alien symbols he had learned to write out the Pythagorean theorem. But this time, he did not just demonstrate the concept. He wrote it in the alien language. Using their mathematical notation. Dr. Zephron was watching Ben's habitat when he saw the message. At first, he thought it was just another animal behavior. But then he looked more closely. Ben had written a mathematical proof using correct alien mathematical language. No animal could do this. Dr. Zephron called for Dr. Vexhai immediately. The two alien scientists stared at Ben's message in shock. They ran tests to make sure they were seeing correctly. They checked their translation systems. But there was no mistake. Ben had written mathematics in their language. The alien research team gathered around the viewing screens. They watched as Ben created more mathematical messages. He wrote equations for basic physics. He demonstrated geometric principles. He showed understanding of concepts that only intelligent beings could grasp. Kate Williams supported Ben's communication efforts in her own way. She began creating systematic demonstrations of human knowledge. Kate showed how humans understood biology by creating models of DNA using simple materials. She demonstrated how evolution worked by showing how traits passed from parents to children. The aliens watched Kate's demonstrations with growing amazement. She was showing knowledge of biological processes that took the aliens thousands of years to discover. Kate was proving that humans had developed advanced science independently. Alex Carter focused on demonstrating human technology and engineering. He built simple machines using the materials in his habitat. Alex showed how humans use tools to create more complex tools. He demonstrated basic engineering principles by building levers, pulleys, and simple computers that Dr. Helen Clark created. The most impressive demonstrations of all. She used her knowledge of physics to show how humans understood the universe. Helen built models of atoms, demonstrated electromagnetic principles, and showed how gravity worked on different scales. Aliens were overwhelmed by what they were seeing. These humans understood mathematics, physics, biology, and engineering. They had developed complex technologies. They had created scientific methods for understanding the universe. These were not animals. These were members of an intelligent species. Dr. Vexhai made the first attempt at direct communication. He activated the communication system in Ben's habitat. Using simple alien words and mathematical concepts, he tried to send a message to Ben. The message was basic. We understand. You are intelligent beings. Ben received the alien message with excitement and relief. He had been trying to prove human intelligence for weeks. Now the aliens were finally acknowledging what he had been trying to show them. Ben sent back a simple response. Yes, we are intelligent. We want to communicate. The first conversation between humans and aliens was awkward, but historic. Both species struggled with language barriers and different ways of thinking. But they were finally talking to each other as equals, not as scientists studying animals. Helen joined the conversation by sending mathematical messages to the aliens. She showed them human understanding of physics and astronomy. Helen proved that humans had figured out how stars worked, how planets moved, and how the universe was structured. The aliens began sharing their own knowledge with the humans. They showed the humans star maps of the galaxy. They explained how many different intelligent species existed. They described the Galactic Research Consortium and how it worked. Kate contributed to the conversation by showing the aliens how humans studied life. She demonstrated human knowledge of biology and evolution. Kate showed that humans understood how life developed and changed over time. Alex shared human engineering knowledge with the aliens. He showed them how humans built machines and computers. Alex demonstrated that humans had developed technology step by step, solving problems and creating new tools. Dr. Zephron was amazed by human intelligence. He had studied many species across the galaxy, but humans were unique. They had developed complex intelligence without any telepathic abilities. They had created advanced technology using only their individual minds working together. The aliens learned that humans communicated through spoken and written language. This was unusual in the galaxy. Most intelligent species had some form of telepathy or mental connection. Humans were one of the few species that relied entirely on external communication. The humans learned that they were not alone in the universe. The galaxy contained hundreds of intelligent species. There were vast civilizations that had existed for millions of years. There were technologies that could travel between stars and days instead of years. Men became the primary translator between humans and aliens. He worked with the alien linguists to create better communication methods. They developed a simple language that both species could use to share complex ideas. The aliens began to understand human emotions and social behavior. They realized that human facial expressions and body language were forms of communication, not just animal displays. They learned that humans had complex feelings and social relationships. Helen explained human science to the aliens. She showed them how humans had developed mathematics, physics, and astronomy. Helen proved that humans had figured out many universal truths independently, without any help from other species. The aliens shared their history with the humans. They explained how the Galactic Research Consortium had been formed. They described how different species had made contact and learned to work together. They told the humans about galactic civilization and culture. Kate explained human biology and evolution to the aliens. She showed them how humans had developed from simpler life forms. Kate proved that humans had evolved intelligence naturally, without any outside influence. Alex demonstrated human technology and engineering. He showed the aliens examples of human machines and computers. Alex proved that humans had developed advanced technology using their own intelligence and creativity. The aliens apologized for their mistake. They explained that they had never encountered intelligence like human intelligence before. They had classified humans as animals because human intelligence was so different from what they expected. Dr. Vexai admitted that the alien classification system was flawed. It was based on the assumption that all intelligence would be similar to the intelligence of the species that created it. Humans had proven that intelligence could develop in completely different ways. The humans forgave the aliens for their mistake. They understood that the aliens had been trying to be good scientists and researchers. The aliens had treated them well, even when they thought humans were animals. The conversation between humans and aliens continued for days. Both species shared knowledge, experiences, and ideas. They learned about each other's cultures, histories, and ways of thinking. The aliens realized that humans had something unique to offer galactic civilization. Human intelligence was different from any other species. Humans thought in ways that could solve problems other species could not solve. The humans learned that they were about to become part of something much larger than Earth. They were going to join a galactic community of intelligent species. They would have access to technologies and knowledge that would change human civilization forever. Dr. Zephyran prepared to contact the Galactic Research Consortium. He needed to report the discovery of human intelligence. He needed to explain how the aliens had made their mistake. He needed to ask for guidance on how to proceed. The humans prepared to contact Earth. They needed to tell their governments about the aliens. They needed to explain what had happened and what it meant for humanity's future. Ben continued working on communication systems. He wanted to create better ways for humans and aliens to share ideas. He knew that good communication would be essential for future cooperation. The first contact between humans and aliens was complete. Both species had learned that intelligence could take many different forms. They had discovered that the universe was even more amazing and diverse than they had imagined. The conversation had changed everything. Humans were no longer alone in the universe. The aliens had learned that their understanding of intelligence was too limited. Both species were about to begin a new chapter in their history together. The news of human intelligence spread across the galaxy like wildfire. Dr. Vexhi's emergency report reached the Galactic Research Consortium within hours. Scientists on hundreds of worlds stopped their work to read about the discovery. The galaxy's understanding of intelligence was about to change forever. On the planet Kithros, the consortium's main research center erupted in chaos. Scientists argued about what the discovery meant. Some refused to believe the reports. Others demanded immediate action. The discovery of human intelligence challenged everything they thought they knew about how intelligence developed. Dr. Zephyrin found himself at the center of the greatest scientific controversy in galactic history. He had to defend his research while also admitting that he had made a terrible mistake. He had studied humans for years without recognizing their intelligence. Now he had to explain how this could happen. The consortium's ethics committee held emergency meetings. They needed to decide how to handle the situation. The aliens had accidentally violated galactic law by capturing and studying intelligent beings. They needed to make things right with humanity. On Earth, governments around the world received the most important message in human history. The 4 captured humans had managed to send a signal to Earth explaining what had happened. World leaders learned that aliens existed and that they wanted to make contact. President Johnson called an emergency meeting of world leaders. They had to decide how to respond to the alien contact. This was the moment humanity had dreamed about for centuries. But it was happening because of a case of mistaken identity. Commander Ryan Hayes was chosen to lead Earth's first diplomatic mission to the aliens. Ryan had experience with difficult negotiations and crisis management. He would represent all of humanity in talks with the Galactic Research Consortium. The alien research ship approached Earth slowly. They did not want to frighten humans by arriving too quickly. Dr. Zephyrin and his team prepared for the most important meeting of their lives. They had to apologize for their mistake and try to build a positive relationship with humanity. Ryan's shuttle docked with the alien ship in orbit around Earth. This was the first time humans and aliens had met as equals. Ryan was nervous, but excited. He was about to make history. The first diplomatic meeting between humans and aliens took place in a specially prepared room on the alien ship. Ryan sat across from Dr. Zephyrin and Dr. Vexhi. Ben Rodriguez served as translator, using the communication system he had developed. Dr. Zephyrin began the meeting with a formal apology. He explained how the aliens had made their mistake. He admitted that their classification system was flawed. He promised that the consortium would do everything possible to make amends. Ryan accepted the apology gracefully. He explained that humans understood the mistake was not made with bad intentions. He emphasized that humans were interested in building a positive relationship with the galactic community. The aliens offered humanity immediate membership in the Galactic Research Consortium. They provided access to advanced technologies and scientific knowledge. They offered to share everything they knew about the galaxy and its civilizations. Ryan was amazed by what the aliens were offering. The technology could solve many of Earth's problems. The scientific knowledge could advance human understanding by thousands of years. But he also understood that this would change human civilization forever. Dr. Amy Foster became Earth's first xenolinguist. She worked with Ben Rodriguez to develop better communication systems between humans and aliens. Amy's work became the foundation for all future diplomatic relations between the species. The aliens were fascinated by human language and communication. They had never encountered a species that relied entirely on external communication. They wanted to understand how humans had developed such complex language without telepathy Amy studied alien communication methods and found them equally fascinating. She discovered that most galactic species had some form of mental connection. Humans were unique in developing complex intelligence through purely external communication. The Galactic Research Consortium began a complete review of their classification systems. The discovery of human intelligence had revealed serious flaws in how they understood intelligence. They needed to develop new methods for recognizing intelligent species. Scientists across the galaxy began studying human intelligence. They wanted to understand how humans had developed complex thought without telepathy. They were amazed by human creativity and problem-solving abilities. The aliens discovered that humans thought about problems differently than other species. Where telepathic species shared thoughts directly, humans had learned to explain ideas using words and symbols. This had made humans very good at breaking down complex problems into simple parts. Dr. Helen Clark worked with alien scientists to share human knowledge of physics and mathematics. She was amazed to learn that humans had discovered many of the same scientific principles as ancient alien civilizations. Humans had figured out these truths using only their own intelligence. The aliens were particularly impressed by human art and music. They had never seen anything like human creativity. Other species in the galaxy created things that were beautiful, but human art expressed emotions and ideas in ways that were completely new. Kate Williams became Earth's expert on alien biology. She studied life forms from across the galaxy and shared human knowledge of evolution and genetics. Kate discovered that life had developed in similar ways on many different worlds. The cultural exchange between humans and aliens was fascinating. For both species, humans learned about civilizations that had existed for millions of years. Aliens learned about human history, art, and philosophy. Alex Carter worked with alien engineers to understand their technology. He was amazed by machines that could travel between stars and computers that could think like living beings. But the aliens were also impressed by human engineering and creativity. The aliens offered to help solve Earth's environmental problems. They had technology that could clean the oceans, reduce pollution, and provide unlimited clean energy. They wanted to help humanity develop without making the same mistakes other species had made. World leaders had to make difficult decisions about accepting alien technology. The technology could solve many problems, but it would also change human society completely. They had to decide how much change humanity was ready for. Captain Jake Morrison, the first human the aliens had observed, was chosen to command Earth's first starship. The aliens had upgraded his ship with their technology. Jake would lead missions to explore the galaxy and make contact with other species. The upgraded ship could travel between stars in days instead of years. Jake was amazed by the technology, but he was also proud that humans had impressed the aliens with their intelligence and abilities. The aliens established a research station on Earth's moon. Human and alien scientists worked together to study a galaxy and develop new technologies. The cooperation between the species was better than anyone had hoped. Ben Rodriguez became the head of the new Interspecies Communication Department. He worked to develop better ways for humans and aliens to share ideas. His work helped other species in the galaxy communicate more effectively too. The discovery of human intelligence had changed the galaxy's understanding of how intelligence could develop. The consortium created new guidelines for studying unknown species. They would be more careful to look for different types of intelligence. Other species in the galaxy were excited to meet humans. They had heard about the species that had surprised everyone with their unique form of intelligence. Humans became popular partners for solving difficult problems. The aliens learned that human emotions were not just animal behaviors. They discovered that human feelings like love, friendship, and curiosity were similar to their own emotions. This helped the species understand each other better. Human children grew up knowing that Earth was part of a vast galactic community. They learned about alien cultures in school. They dreamed of traveling to other worlds and meeting other species. The mistake that had led to first contact became a symbol of how intelligence could be misunderstood. The story was told across the galaxy as an example of why scientists needed to be open to new ideas. Dr. Zephron became a hero in the galactic scientific community. His willingness to admit his mistake and learn from it had led to one of the most important discoveries in galactic history. He continued to study intelligence and helped develop better methods for recognizing it. The 4 humans who had proven their intelligence became famous across the galaxy. Alex, Kate, Ben, and Helen were honored as the first humans to make contact with alien intelligence. They continued to work as ambassadors between the species. Human technology began to advance rapidly with alien help. But humans also contributed their own ideas and creativity. The combination of human and alien knowledge led to discoveries that neither species could have made alone. The galactic community became more diverse and creative with human participation. Humans brought new perspectives and ways of thinking that helped solve problems other species had struggled with for centuries. Trade and cultural exchange between Earth and other worlds flourished. Humans shared their art, music, and literature with the galaxy. In return, they learned about the incredible diversity of life and intelligence.